Good morning. It's time to jump on that to-do list, but that home improvement project doesn't have to be a chore. Before you jump in, tune in here to About Your House to listen and learn from the most experienced and reputable contractors and service providers in the industry. On today's show, we have Josh Jenkins of Precision Plumbing, Mary Ann Konopnicki, a talent acquisition specialist at Precision Plumbing, and Bryce Owusu of HD Bros. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store, and they've been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience that they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us as we spread a little love. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
Hey, and good morning. Welcome to another About Your House edition and a lot of Put Tools in Schools today, as we have the chairman of the board from Put Tools in Schools, Miss Mary Ann Konopnicki. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you speak a little closer to your mic. How many podcasts have you done now?
Podcast? I think this is my first one
there
at
you
the
go.
studio. Yeah.
Cool. How about you, Josh?
I've done a couple in the past, but this is my first one here.
Josh Jenkins with Precision Plumbing. Josh, what do you do for Precision?
I'm in charge of all the marketing for Precision Plumbing.
There you go. We got a marketing guru here for Precision Plumbing, and we're going to talk a lot about Precision Plumbing, but let's clear something up right out of the gate. Precision Plumbing, yeah, they full of plumbers. How many employees Precision got?
About 213 employees.
That's across what? How many cities? And
how many cities? Probably 5 right now, 5 different cities at least that we're in right now, but we're all over North and South Carolina.
So they're a plumbing contractor. Now, don't call them for residential plumbing, and you're probably saying, well, why are they on the show? Because you need plumbers, and we've got a tremendous deficit for plumbers in this country. I mean, do you know any numbers on that?
Well, I know the numbers for Charlotte in general for the trades.
That'll work.
In the next 5 years, 40% will be retiring.
So we're going to lose 40% of what's already a very slim labor force, right? Isn't that the case?
That is absolutely the case. Whenever I'm looking for an experienced plumber, it takes a really long time to find the right fit for our company in terms of experience, because we're all fishing from the same small pond of plumbers.
That's why I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention today via podcast and information. Mary Ann has been with Precision now how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, and you're going to find out a little bit about her history. Now I'm going to ask everybody, how old are you?
I'm 32.
32, perfect. How about you, Josh? How old are you?
I'm 31.
You're a new dad, too.
I sure am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He's
Happy
awesome.
Boy.
Yeah.
Did you sleep last night?
I actually slept great. Last night was really good. Yeah, it doesn't
really
happen
good
often,
night.
but
how's the baby now?
He's only 3 months.
3 months.
He's brand
new daddy. Oh boy, perking right along in life. Mary Ann, I met. Where did I meet you?
So I think my second day at Precision, after Connie told me about us being connected with Put Tools in Schools, I gave you a call. I didn't even have my work cell phone yet, so that's why you have my personal number too.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do I call you mostly on that one? I don't know how. You got 2 cells?
I have 2.
Okay, one of those. I got to get another cell for this show. Now, we've got a call-in line. If you care to call in and ask questions about any of the mentioned topics today, you feel free to call 704-712-4644. That is my personal cell phone, but you can call in and go straight into the board, and we got you covered. So that's 704-712-4644. Richton Cunningham's at the board today, and the podcast studio, as you know, is in the Toolbox. The Toolbox is a learning connector space. What do you think of the space, Mary Ann? Think we got potential?
I think there's absolutely a lot of potential for what we have a vision for, what you've shared with me.
Well, what do you think the vision is? So if I know I shared it correctly.
Oh, well, the vision is for young people to come into the space and learn about the trades, learn about material, learn about how to fix things, how to replace things, So they're learning while they're resetting the space, but also learning once the space is fully set up.
There's so many things to consider when you got a space like this, learning space. One, teamwork, communication, soft skills, just handling yourself right, safety. Everyone that comes in here and that's really interested in the trades, one of the first things they'll do is get on the computers. You go online and earn your OSHA 10. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Act. OSHA 10 is all around safety.
Yep.
Y'all teach that in your apprenticeships, do you not?
Well, OSHA 10 is separate from our apprenticeship, but it is part of the NCCER too.
Right.
But it's a standard for our company.
It's basically a standard thing for most companies that have any size to them and want to operate correctly. And why? Because it covers safety. And all the kids that come in here, well, I say kids, to me, anybody less than 40, I'd like to say 50, because last week we had a guest on the show that kind of validated the situation as far as our country goes in the educational format that we've all been brainwashed to accept. By what I mean by that is he's a 47-year-old professional in the industry of cabinets. And he comes in here and I ask him how many kids he's got. He says 2, 16 and 20. What are they doing? Well, one's in college, the other one's young, 16, but he's going to go to college. Do you hear what I'm saying? I mean, he was programmed, everybody's going to college. And then I said, what's your 20-year-old going to do? Not sure yet. Not sure yet. Well, what's that tell you? Why are you in college?
Right.
If you don't have an end goal, why'd you go to school? Oh, because I want to be educated. To do what? And I asked that. Well, I'm not sure yet. Well, then why are you going to college? Like I said, to get an education. For what? Does that make any sense to me? I mean, it doesn't, because you're investing that money. Well, he validated the thing, and he even said that he, sit there and admitted that if he had to do it over again, he really wasn't sure if he'd do it or not. And now, I'm not against a college education at all. I'm really not, as you've noticed. In how long have you been doing the trades career days now? Did you start immediately about 2 years?
Probably pretty much immediately, yeah. That fall. I met you, I think, in the summer.
All right. Mary Ann here is a talent acquisition specialist, and that's another name for workforce development director.
And recruiter.
And recruiter. Yeah. Now, where are you from?
I'm originally from Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Country girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Small town. It's not so small anymore, though.
That's where my grandma's from, Laurinburg.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Small world.
Yeah.
Tell us about your upbringing.
So
a little bit
of my upbringing. So my mom is a teacher.
Yep.
She was a teacher for 39 years before she officially retired. She retired from North Carolina 29 years and then taught another 10 in South Carolina before she fully retired. My dad has had a mixture of careers throughout his life. He was in construction really early on. He was in insurance after that. And then he was a youth pastor for most of my growing up years, and he's a pastor now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know your dad was a pastor.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's great. So you graduated down in Laurinburg High School. Then you went to college.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
So I graduated from Scotland High School. Small town, so we only had one high school for the entire county.
How many were in your graduating class? Do you remember?
I think it was about 500.
Oh, really? That's a
Yeah.
pretty good sized class.
Yeah. For the whole county, yeah.
Yep.
And we're a big
So
school.
there's one school for the whole county.
Yes.
Wow, a lot of
Very different than Charlotte, yes.
Yeah, you might say that. Well, do you remember high school as having trades in vocational ed, or CTE as they call it now?
We did have a few trades programs in my high school because we're closer to the country. We had a mechanical shop that was in the back of our high school. And then we had plumbing for a while too, but I think the attendance in those classes, or people signing up for the classes, became lower. So that class went away probably by the time I graduated. We had culinary arts. We actually ran a restaurant
That's
out of
awesome.
our high school. And then we had a daycare center too that was ran from our high school.
That's
as well.
awesome.
Yep.
So you did have training, vocational training.
Yep. Where they knew they did not have to go to college to pursue that path. Yes.
And you went to college,
Yep.
but you knew what you wanted to do.
I did.
Do to mama.
Yep, I did. Well, I will say this. When I was probably prior to middle school, my mother is a teacher who works very hard, worked long hours, would be late at school. And I was like, I do not want to do that. That is not what I want to do. She works way too hard. She's exhausted every evening. But then because she is a teacher, we were really good in school, all my sisters and I. And I was good at teaching people, specifically math. So when I would finish my work early, I started teaching the kids around me whenever the teacher couldn't get to them. So I fell in love with teaching. But with that being said, I didn't realize at the time there were other opportunities to teach outside of the classroom.
Right. Well, I didn't know I was a teacher until somebody said, you need to be teaching. And the guy who told me I needed to be teaching was superintendent of CMS schools at the time. And I was in a meeting, and he heard me, and he says, boy, you need to be teaching. I looked at him and laughed and says, I've never been to college. I can't teach. He says, oh, son, you've been to college. You've earned a PhD in what you do the hard way. And that was a great compliment at the time, but still, I didn't want to pursue teaching per se. Mm-hmm. You know, although I teach. We're teaching now.
Yep.
That's what this show's all about. Informational communication, along with the most important thing we do in life. And I tell everybody to do, everybody I go to in groups of kids, adults, I ask the question, because it seems to be more difficult these days. What's the hardest thing we do every day? Most important thing we do every day seems to be, and is communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate. Is that not a problem in today's professional arena?
Oh, 100% is an issue, I think, in every profession. If you're not a good communicator, you're not going to be successful in anything that you do.
Bingo.
Yeah.
How many apprentices, newbies, you might say, to the plumbing that can't talk? And when I say they can't talk, they can talk, but they don't talk fluently and where you can understand them necessarily. And I'm not talking Hispanics or foreign immigrants or whatever. I'm talking about born and bred American citizens.
Yeah. Now, I will say most of the ones that we end up bringing into our program are pretty well spoken and can say why they want to be a part of the apprenticeship program. And typically the ones who don't have a clear answer for that, they don't last very long at the program because it wasn't a priority for them. But if I can tell there's a passion behind their voice and they can say why they want to go into it, those people 100% of the time end up in our program.
Right. Gotcha.
Yep.
All you got to do is find the passion, find the desire, find the initiative, self-confidence, all because as we've experienced, kids today in public school system don't have that. The self-confidence is lacking. And therefore, put tools in schools in the toolbox. You put tools in the kids' hands, no different than toys. No different at all than toys, And how about you, Josh? Did you grow up with tools?
I did, yeah. My dad was a general manager of a Home Depot for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So
Look at you. Say, I don't know what I have to bring to the table. Heck, your dad was a Home Depot manager. Matter of fact, we had a guest on the show last week that worked for Home Depot. Andy worked for about 13 years. Andy worked for Lowe's for about 11.
Oh, wow.
And he brought a lot to the table, a lot of information. I enjoyed it. And here you had a dad. So you spent time in Home Depot quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I worked there for a short stint, too. But mainly it was my dad bringing home. Home Depot would sell those little kits. Kid kits. For building a wooden car or a birdhouse or something. I remember doing those a lot.
The Saturday workshops?
Yeah. Yep. I went to those a lot.
You did? Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, tell me more. Where are you from?
I'm from here originally. I grew up in Matthews.
Oh, Matthews boy. Mm-hmm. You got any siblings?
I do. I have 8 siblings.
And your dad was a manager of a Home Depot. Well, you just said he was a manager of a Home. Which one?
He bounced around a little bit. He went to different stores. But
In Charlotte?
In Charlotte, yep. He was in Gastonia for a while. I think he was in the Pineville location for a little bit. He was just kind of all over.
What's he doing now?
He's retired. He's helping my mom run her homeschooling bookstore in Matthews.
Oh,
So he's-
your mom is in that homeschooling bookstore.
Yep, the
I
homeschool
may have
room.
met her because I've been in there.
Have you? Okay.
Well, I went in there to talk about put tools in schools and how we
Sure.
could help the homeschool network.
Yeah.
The,
Okay.
the homeschooling community, which has grown
It's
tremendously.
massive. Yeah.
You know, well, you see, look at you. Look what you bring this. It's massive. You know more than you thought you knew.
I guess so.
But it's simply by coincidence that you come in here today and your dad was the manager of a Home Depot store. Which how long did he was with? Was he with Home Depot?
He was there for over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he was. It was a full career for him.
Did he start in Charlotte? Because first Home Depot came to Charlotte in August of '91.
I think he started in Charlotte because they
Okay, well,
moved
that was
here
almost
right
30.
before I was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you can tell my age because I go way back, you know. But I was so excited when Home Depot opened in Charlotte. I
Really?
really was. And the reason because I was excited is I was a remodeler. I was a contractor, you could say, and I my whole career has been with tools and improving and remodeling. I started in residential construction, but multifamily, building apartments. And then when I later on moved to the residential side of the company I worked with, which was Irvin back in the day, I got used to the residential side of construction, house building. And my job was to fix what was broken in new houses. Now you say, new houses, why would anything be broken? Well, you got to know the history of Raintree to know that. Raintree is where I ended up leaving that company because they went belly up. And when I left there, I went into my own business because I was 22 years old and a superintendent. And who in Charlotte's going to hire a 22-year-old superintendent, right? Mm-hmm. What do you know, boy? So anyway, I went out on my own, Terry's Contracting Services. And then I got into the industry full time. And then came just changes. NARI came to Charlotte in 1990. And when that happened, like I said, 91, in 90, Home Depot wasn't here yet. Mm-hmm. And then I heard by rumor, there was a Home Depot going to open in Pineville. I said, oh boy, because Lowe's lacked a great deal. And not everybody enjoys big box stores in the industry. We don't have a choice because they've come in and run a lot of the hardware stores out of business due to the locations and how many there are. And then I felt like personally, if we could have some competition going on, it would improve the industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, it did. When Home Depot came to town, Lowe's stepped up their game a little bit and became actually, I prefer Lowe's over Home Depot. And I got to tell you why, because everybody says, why? Do you have a preference? You're probably a Home Depot boy, aren't you? Because your dad.
Pretty loyal to Home Depot, yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Rightfully so. Well, I'm not. And I'm going to tell you why. And you can tell me if it makes sense or not. Standardization. As a contractor, when you go into a store, you want to get in, get your goods, and get out. You got a job to do, right? Time.
Sure.
I can walk in the front door at any Lowe's and look at that store from 10 feet in, maybe 20. But anyway, when I get to the aisles and I can look down and I can tell you where everything's at in that store. Mm-hmm. There's more standardization in a Lowe's than there is Home Depot. And Home Depot, every store's different. Every store's different. Why? I mean, you don't have to answer that because I've asked managers. I've worked in managers' homes for Home Depots before,
really?
And we've had that conversation. And I had that conversation with my co-host back in the day on the Home Improvement Show on WBT in the mid-'90s with John Gordon. I think he still might be on that show. I'm not sure. I didn't listen to it. Why? Because Home Depot. All the answers are Home Depot. And I just couldn't take it anymore. All the answers aren't Home Depot. There are different paint stores. There are different other lumber yards. Everything's not Home Depot. Well, they became a co-host, and they became the general sponsor of the show. And then one day, I was in Home Depot. I was loyal, Josh. I was. I went to Home Depot because my co-host was Home Depot. But yet, I go in there, and look, I'm not throwing Home Depot completely under the bus, but as a contractor, and I go into a store and I can't find anything, and then you look at a sales associate and he looks at you like a deer in the headlights, oh, they must have moved that. There's what I've heard 100 times before, but still doesn't know where it's at. Matter of fact, some of them will, but to be fair, they've got better controls of that now in their little handheld devices. They can whoop it up real quick and tell you exactly where it's at. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I have learned that. However, it's really nice if you can go into a store and go find things. And both stores, regardless, it's an inventory problem. I went into a Lowe's last week, and lo and behold, they were out of 2 things. Well, what good are you if you're out of your goods? Inventory, right? But anyway, good to hear you're a Home Depot boy, and I'm glad to know you were raised with Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And you went to the Saturday workshops.
I did, yep. I even got to meet Tony Stewart, the NASCAR driver for Home Depot a while back. He came to some of the stores, did like a little tour around the country to the Home Depots, and I remember my dad taking me to that.
That's
got
awesome.
to sign a little race car with him.
Yeah.
It was super cool. So we were full into Home Depot when I was growing up.
Home Depot is a great store overall because, I mean, another part of the story. Back in 90, Lowe's nor Home Depot were members of NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. I, at the time, was the first president of the chapter of NARI. Bryce Owuzu is in studio today. He's the gallery today. And, Home Depot and all of it, in 1990, none of this, what we have today in Charlotte, was here. Mm-hmm. In other words, how many Home Depots are in Charlotte? What, 4, 5, 6? I don't know. Huntersville? I mean, they're everywhere, right? Lowe's are everywhere. Well, back then, there wasn't that situation.
Right.
And I felt like, here again, being the ambassador that I was for not Home Depot, for NARI, because I was the president, I said, since Home Depot's got a radio show they sponsor, and they did, it's great, WBT Powerhouse station, right? And they're in the industry, and they've come to Charlotte to stay and be a part of this community. They ought to have joined NARI. So I went and recruited Home Depot to be a NARI member. That started a national problem at first, because NARI, the professionals in NARI, were kind of like, what's Home Depot joining NARI for? Now, today it seems like a natural fit, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Back then it didn't. To show you how things were, they didn't want the big box stores involved with such a prestigious association. I guess that was the thought. Well, anyway, they joined. Now they're sponsors on the national level. They jumped in the water big time, went deep, and now they're sponsors nationally and very involved in the industry as a whole. So I feel like it worked. Lowe's never joined NARI, but Home Depot did. So in light of that, even today, Home Depot's still a national member of NARI, which is great. So they're definitely supportive of the industry and done due diligence to be what they are today. So kudos.
Yeah.
They support the industry. They supported NARI and the growth. And I don't think price is the issue when it comes to box stores. What do you like?
I mean, typically we go to Home Depot or Lowe's. There's not really a preference. It's whichever one's closer to us. And usually
Right.
They're across the street from each other. So
See what I mean, folks? See how it changed things, And honestly, there are times when, if one store doesn't have it, you're going to go to the other one, But I got to say, I love me some Ace Hardwares. Yeah. I mean, I was down in TK area the other day. And Kevin's out here in the gallery today too, Kevin Muir. And Kevin says, well, there's a hardware store right up the street. I says, no, I didn't. He said, oh, yeah, I went there a couple weeks ago or whatever. You were out there. Sure enough, we forgot a receptacle, a 220 50 amp receptacle that we went to Lowe's earlier for and walked out of the store and forgot what we went in there for. You ever happened to you? Yeah, I'm sure. But anyway, so we went to the hardware store. 10 minutes later, we were back on the job, got it done. So home improvement. It's a tremendous industry, and we're hurting. We're hurting big time. But let me preface this. Precision Plumbing. We're going to talk about Precision Plumbing and the employees in plumbing in general today. But Precision Plumbing is not a residential plumbing company.
Yeah.
Got to make that very clear. In other words, don't call them to unclog your toilet. Don't call them for fixing plumbing or putting a new fixture in, because they don't do it. Do you?
That's true.
What do y'all do?
We are a large commercial and industrial plumbing contractor.
Probably one of the largest in the 2 states of North and South Carolina.
Yep.
Based in Charlotte, 474 West Matthews Street, down in Matthews, correct?
Yep.
And all right, I'm going to revert back to you. Then I'm going to come back to you. How did you get your job? You were teaching. How many years did you teach?
I taught for 8 years.
Where did you teach?
So my first position was in Hamlet, North Carolina, which is like 30 minutes west of Laurinburg. And that was in an elementary school. And then I moved to Charlotte with my husband. He works in construction.
So where'd you meet him?
I met him when he was living in Fayetteville and I was living in Hamlet, but we met online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It works.
Yeah, it does.
You're proof of it.
Yes.
Okay, and then what?
So when I moved to Charlotte, I worked at Alexander Graham Middle School
AG.
for 4 years.
Right.
Yep.
How'd that go? We've never talked about this.
So I would say, I started there with Robert Folk as the principal.
Okay.
He's now at Myers Park. I think he was promoted to that position during COVID time.
Right.
But my first year at AG was outstanding.
Gotcha.
We had a really strong group of teachers in sixth grade. That was the case for all 4 of the years that I was there in sixth grade. It was just that final year I was there, I was told that I would be one of the last 5 that would be left on that sixth grade hallway for next year. And I had already been considering other career opportunities, but that was kind of my sign to
As a
leave.
teacher, can I ask why you were considering getting out of teaching?
I think COVID changed a lot of things in education, but education is slow to change.
It's a system.
Yeah.
It's broken.
Yeah.
The system is broken. It does not work.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I went to AG.
Oh.
Another proof it doesn't work. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
You didn't let me finish.
No, I know. I just thought I'd just.
I didn't love it, to say the least.
Yeah.
I had 2 kids in the workshop 3 weeks ago on a Saturday work day that were from AG.
Oh, okay.
And I went over to AG with Pete Sheppel in F3 group, men's group. They had some men over there after school program, working with the kids. And AG, had a robust bunch of kids, and I say robust because they were somewhat out of control, And, okay, so you contemplated a career move.
Yeah. Since COVID, I would say for sure. I started there in 2019-20. Well, yeah, 1920. That was a great year up until March, which is when we got out of school.
End of March.
And then this next year was kind of strange because we were either completely virtual or it was a hybrid setting. So I can't really say anything negative other than a lot of kids missed education during that year because they didn't have a parent who could be home full time to regulate their learning.
2020 was devastating to the education system. And not that it wasn't bad enough, then here comes COVID and it just sunk the boat. And they're still reeling from that.
Yeah.
That's what we hear, talking to educators. Let me take a minute here to talk about some sponsors we have. And we can't do it without our sponsors. They've supported us tremendously. And one of which is ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating's located, well, this branch is. They're throughout North and South Carolina. They go as far as the coast, and they'll go up in the mountains. So ABS Insulating is a very, very good insulating company that understands the science of insulating and comfort in residential construction. And if you've got a house that you're remodeling, you may want to give them a call to come out and do an analysis on what they can do to improve the existing structure. You know, and they've got air seal programs. They got open cell, closed cell foam insulation, and they've also got a combination of various techniques to air seal and make your house more comfortable with less energy bills. Also, you can't forget their gutter division. ABS Insulation's got a gutter division that specializes in gutter repair, installation, maintenance, you know, repair, whatever the case may be. They'll come to you and, you know, take care of whatever gutter problems you may have. After all, the number one enemy you have in your home is water. You must control it. Control it coming off the roof. And ABS is great at that. So give them a call. Better yet, go online, absinsulating.com. And then don't forget our boys up at Josh and Alex up at Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Great duo, great two kids graduated from college, got together one day and decided to get into the foundation business after Josh worked in foundation repair in his summers in college and got a well-versed, good education. And, well, so well he wanted to open a business and be great about it, and I'm talking great. And the problem with, not that it's a problem, but the situation around foundation repair, you don't know who to believe or what to believe. I say that a lot on this show. Who do you believe, what do you believe? But if you need foundation repair, helical piers, crawl space, encapsulation, concrete lifting, meaning the slab, your patios drop, your driveway, they can lift the concrete back into place. No matter what the case is, well, give them a call. If you've got foundation issues, concrete issues, foundation repair, you know, if you got cracks in your brick, your doors are sticking, you got cracks in your drywall, you've definitely got foundation issues. Give them a call. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. And online, it's Rhino Lift Foundations.com. Give them a call. Great company in North and South Carolina, general contractors, so they got you covered. That's Rhino Lift Foundation Solutions. Today's show, we got Precision Plumbing in-house talking about, well, we're going to talk about the plumber shortage. You know, we talk about the trades a lot around Put Tools in Schools, and we've got issues. Marion Konopnicki and Precision Plumbing both have been very, very supportive of the Put Tools in Schools program, and I think they've attended, probably 90% of all the career days. And they go, you got career days coming up.
Yep.
As we all do. And you can go to puttoolsinschools.org and go to the events calendar and see exactly where and when the career days are going to occur. And we're going to talk about those because, well, there's an issue. And when we go into a school, we find out firsthand where the problems are, don't we?
Yep.
All right. You had a career change.
Yep.
What made you decide to go in plumbing? I mean, can you tell us a little background there?
So my husband works in construction. He's never worked personally with Precision Plumbing. He is in commercial construction. But we actually heard about Precision Plumbing through our church. Charlie Brown, who was the owner of Precision Plumbing, went to the church that we were going to at the time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Charlie was a great man, good Christian man, great values, just tremendous guy.
Yeah.
What he's done, and he supported CPCC, the plumbing industry, and teaching in general his whole career. Him and Jeff Knight started that company together. Did you ever meet Jeff?
I did not.
Well, he retired before you hit the scene. But like Charlie, God bless him, he's passed on now, but he's left a great legacy with his son-in-law, Justin.
Well, stepson.
Stepson, excuse me. He's a stepson, not a son-in-law.
Stepson of, Charlie Brown. But were you talking about Jeff?
No, I was talking about Justin being in Charlie's family and how he was attached. And Justin worked as a plumber.
Yep.
For Precision and worked his way up. So there's a great example of what you can do in the plumbing industry. Okay, so how did you get to Precision? Just a church?
Yeah. So I didn't know Charlie Brown personally. We had just heard through other church members about who he was and his company, and we've only heard good things about them. I actually had a recruiter reach out to me on LinkedIn, and she was connected with Precision Plumbing. And she just had a conversation with me about, she saw I was leaving teaching and was asking what I was interested in. I just said I was open to anything dealing with people. I think before I left teaching, I thought I might have wanted to be a programmer because I was so peopled out. I felt like I was just
You were
very
burnt
drained.
out.
Yes.
Teaching burns out a lot of people.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I had reached burnout. I could just see it approaching.
Right.
And I wanted to get out before I hit that point.
Well, good. I hope you never hit that again.
Yeah.
I've been there too many times.
And I will say this position has definitely reignited, the fire and the passion of what I care about. And
What do you
what's
care
important.
about?
Well, I mean, with my husband being in the construction industry
Right.
and with the students I've taught over the years, there's a group of students that are constantly put into a box and are miserable in your classroom full time. And those are the kids who are desperate for hands-on learning.
She's a teacher, folks, and I've got to give her kudos. She's the chairman of the board of Put Tools in Schools. Last year, she's taken on that role and done a fantastic job. I mean, really incredible job, and she's very motivated in it. And I really appreciate what you've brought to the table, because as a teacher, you know students, you know what you're dealing with.
Yep.
And you know the enormity of the problem we've got around the trades and kids and college and education. I went into a Bailey Middle School last Wednesday, and talked to, I know I talk a lot about this, folks, but as we're going to discuss here today, it's a problem. It's a problem for you as a homeowner. I mean, we're talking about plumbing today. Well, electrical's the same way. HVAC, same thing. Carpentry, same thing. Welding. All the trades, service, purpose-filled career pathways are hurting big time. And the takeaway we found is, I know I sound harsh, I know I sound critical, but somebody's got to put it out there the way it really is. Somebody's got to talk about it. And it's not a pretty picture out there, is it?
No. I think, even when I was leaving education and I was excited about the opportunity to interview with Precision, me sharing with my coworkers that I was considering working for a plumbing company, I got a lot of looks of confusion of why I would ever want to do such a thing. Because they just don't know what opportunities are in construction and what it looks like.
And we're doing our darndest to tell them.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the issue. Back in the 70s, mid-70s, they took the trades out of schools. They started, because I was part of the movement, because I removed all the tools from Garinger High School back in the day, mid-70s. And when that happened, they went to CTE, Careers in Technical Education, which that acronym makes no sense at all. When you grew up, it was VOTEC, right?
I know, it was CTE.
It was
when I growing
CTE
up, too.
there too? Okay. But we went to a NAWIC meeting the other night, recalling Mary Ann did a great presentation, NAWIC, the National Association of Women in Construction, and last week was Women in Construction Week. And you went to an event Saturday with NAWIC.
Yep, I did.
At Blythe Construction?
Yep.
Tell them about your day at Blythe. Tell them what you got to do.
I got to operate an excavator, which that was really
What?
cool. Yeah. I
didn't tell me
I
that.
sent you a video, but
Did you send me video?
Yeah, I
Oh.
did. Jennifer and I got to operate that.
Now that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome that you could bring people on site somewhere and let them operate equipment. Hoopah Grading has got some simulators that are outstanding. And they brought them to an Independence High School event a few years back. And the kids love it. And to be able to sit down in a simulator that's simulating an excavator, a bulldozer, CDL, a tractor trailer truck, semi, that you can drive the truck on the simulator.
And they had simulators at Blythe too.
Yep.
But I will say the people who are out there helping with the actual excavator, one person was like, "Oh, I did the simulator inside." He was like, "This is totally different. You have to see and feel what it's like on the machine."
To that point, there's a tractor trailer, 2 of them in the states of North and South Carolina, called Be Proud, Be Pro. You ever seen
Yep.
that? Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen it.
Well, I've seen it twice, and it does connect students to the trades in concept only.
Yeah.
There's no tools on the van, none. There's a couple simulators, I think 3 CDL and a couple equipment simulators, and that's it. Now, as far as acknowledging what the trades are and how they work and the opportunities, it doesn't talk about that.
Yeah.
And everything's got a headset with hand controls. It's like a video game, and there's monitors all over the truck. And it's nice. I have to admit, it's first class, but to me, it doesn't connect.
I think for the way they're utilizing it at Blythe, it makes sense because they're practicing the controls and the operations for the virtual system.
It's a way to start.
Yes, but then they actually go on the machine and use it. I mean, there has to be a next step.
Right. Sure. It's an intro.
Yes.
The simulators are intro. It's introducing the equipment to you as an operator, and you get a little feel for how it works. And in light of that, it's fantastic. You ever played on a simulator, Josh?
I haven't, but I mean, I imagine it's probably a good transition tool too, because this is where kids are living nowadays, is video games, and so it's a good way to bridge that gap, and get them involved in something that is kind of related to what they probably like doing in their free time anyways, which is mostly video games. So I get the appeal, I think.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
And you're in your early 30s, so I know you get it. It's just like Mark Borja, my engineer here in the studio, not with us today. We're getting there. We don't need Mark as much anymore. We're learning. So he's in his early 30s too, and that technology curve with you younger people are much better. And I met a guy here in the studio last Friday as well. He was an intern. I don't think I told the board about that last night. He was an intern, 3rd year in college. And I got to tell you his story a little bit. I said, "What are you going to college for?" He said, "Something around media and communications." Okay, I said, "Okay, that's great." He said, "Yeah." And then we talked a little bit. I said, "Well, how are you liking it?" He says, "Well, I'm beginning to like it a lot." He said, "But I just changed my major 2 months ago." So in other words, he went to college for 3 years, said that wasn't for me, changed his mind, and now he's going another direction. And then he said when he gets his degree, he was going to go back to school for another 2 years. And I looked at him and I said, "For what?" To learn more. For what? See, people get kind of weird when I say for what. But he said to learn more. Then I said, and this is what we all need to focus on, and Mary Ann here, you can validate or agree or disagree, please. The only time you learn, the only time I learn, the only time any one human being learns is when he applies. You'll never learn anything till you apply, like we just discussed. The simulators, that's a great intro tool, but you'll never learn it until you get on an excavator like you did Saturday. You never learn anything till you practice it, apply it. So how do you get more educated if you don't apply?
Yeah.
I mean, then I'm the bad one. I'm the culprit here because I'm criticizing education. What is education? Classroom or actual working?
Yeah. And I will say this too, education, just like the simulators, should be an introduction to what goes on in your future life. But the real, true, valuable education comes after the fact. Even when I went to college to teach, I was learning way more when I was teaching full-time in the classroom than I ever did in college.
Application.
Yes.
Mark Borja, as a relative to the conversation I had with this new intern, and I says, Mark, how much have you learned in the field in real life versus what you learned in college? He says, my God, he said, it's 100-fold more because of application. You can't learn that in the classroom. You cannot learn that in the classroom. There's no way to. But yet, that's the way our system is.
Well, and what's great is like that application piece.
Yeah.
You can get paid to learn that part.
Thank you,
like,
Josh.
That's a huge part of it. And college, you're paying for that education, whether you use it or not. You can go get that application education somewhere else and actually get paid in the same time, which is huge.
In some direction, we're going to talk about this in hour two, about kids there's a transition going on. We can agree with that, toward the trades, toward working with tools in the trades. Okay? Unfortunately, we're fighting a battle. We're fighting a psyop, basically, and I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's what it's become, where we've been trained to go get a degree so we'll be successful. How's that working? 90% of all those with degrees out there, when they get out of college, they do not apply. 90%, they do not apply that degree to their college pathway. Speaking of which, you went to college, I presume.
I went to college for 1 semester.
Oh, you're my man. What happened?
Well,
Where'd you go to college? Let's start there.
so I went to CPCC,
Cool.
community college.
Sure, great college. Great.
I was either paying for the classes or I was paying for the books, and then my parents were paying for the other part.
Sure.
So I had a little skin in the game. I didn't know what I was going to college for. It was a community college, so I was kind of there to figure out a direction. And yeah, went there for 1 semester and realized that I wasn't finding that direction, and I thankfully learned that pretty quick because it was coming out of my wallet, and joined the military instead.
Oh, really?
And I spent 8 years in the military and ended
In
up.
what branch?
I was in the Air Force for 5.
Doing what?
I was an intelligence analyst.
Okay, cool.
So I worked with signals and radar theory, and actually got a huge education in that while I was there, and got paid for it at the same time. And I ended up with an associate's degree during my time there, and the hands-on education that I got during tech school and military training was way more than anything I could have gotten at a college. And it was partly because of the industry and because the education was in, I worked on classified systems. I worked with equipment and radars that the civilian side of life doesn't really have. And so it was a little specialized, of course, but it was a huge degree.
So when you got out of the military, 8 years?
8 years.
You said
yes,
you
sir.
did 5.
5 in Air Force, and then I did 3 in the Space Force when it started.
Oh, yeah, I remember having a
Yeah.
small conversation with you at Space Force. How did that go?
It was great. It was in its infancy. It was exactly the same as the Air Force for a little while. It took a while for it to get its own identity, but it was fun to be part of that first 1,000 people that transitioned over.
What'd you do in the Space Force?
Same exact thing. I
just
was in
same
Intel.
thing,
Yep. My education career just kind of transferred
Right.
over.
Speaking of hands-on, my MOS in the military was wheel vehicle and track vehicle mechanic.
Oh, nice.
And we learned hands-on was the school. Mm-hmm. We got dirty and greasy, learning the systems around track and wheel. But in the military, everything's in a book. You get manuals. Mm-hmm. Everything, every piece of equipment, everything has a book with it. It's got everything you need in the book.
Right.
And that's the way we were taught. And not a bad thing, because you got your rule book and your instruction sheet right in the book.
Yep.
But to the point of learning hands-on, it's the only way you can learn is to get dirty, get greasy. And I learned a tremendous amount when I got back and got in the maintenance department. But I already knew what I needed to know. And then I became a cook. And then when I left maintenance and went to cook, I had more fun.
Yeah.
A lot more fun.
I bet.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. For 8.5 years, I cooked for 88 men.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah. Every month I cooked their meals, and it was great. On our
Who was that with, or was that
National Guard, North Carolina National
the
Guard.
National Guard? Okay.
Yeah, Army National Guard. I was in it for 11 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was okay. I enjoyed it until I didn't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
You know, you can only
Same
take
here.
so much so long of the military, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then you got out of the military. You get out one day and say, now what?
Well, I got out. I decided to get out during COVID, and to Mary Ann's point, that was a huge turning point for a lot of people. It was also the same time we were withdrawing from Afghanistan, which was also a huge fumble by our administration. And so during that time, I decided to get out, and I wanted to make sure I had something set up when I got out, because I knew that my education and intelligence wasn't going to really apply to a whole lot in the civilian sector as if I didn't go work for like the FBI or NSA or something like that. So I got a real passion into farming, which is similar to the trades. It's
Farming
it's
is
an industry that's also in decline. And
big time.
I think the average age of a farmer is like 65 years old nowadays. So I wanted to get in something that was needed, and I wanted to have job
Purpose.
security. Yeah, I wanted to have purpose. And so I got really into farming. There's a program in the military called Skill Bridge that lets you transition out of the military and go work for a civilian company, partnering civilian company for 6 months. And you still get paid by the military. So they kind of help you transition into a job, and then after those 6 months is up, ideally that company will offer you a job. So I went and worked with Miller Electric. They're a commercial electrical company here in Charlotte. I was in their prefab, building gang boxes and bending conduit and putting together skids and stuff like that.
So they had a prefab division at Miller.
They do. Yep.
Just like at
It was
Precision.
much
there's prefab.
smaller than Precision's.
Right.
It was still brand new. But it was just kind of my toes in the water of trying to get into an industry that was, they're always hiring people. Always people were needed.
There's always.
It's never going to disappear.
No way.
Yeah. So I saw the value in that. And so I did that for 6 months. And at the same time, we were starting our farm. And so I didn't end up taking a job with them and started working on our farm full time instead.
Good. Well, how'd you get in marketing?
So there was a lot of marketing involved with our farm. We built that from the ground up and did all of our own content and website design. And we
can
had
tell you're kind of into healthy food.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I said
healthy
my
food.
website was important. I know right there,
Yeah.
y'all went for organic,
Oh, yeah.
complete.
Yeah, we were selling
Same.
direct to consumer. We skipped
Yeah.
all the grocery stores, skipped all the processors. We were raising pasture-raised chicken, processing them ourselves, and selling them right to consumers.
You
So
still doing it?
we're not. We did it for a short period, and it ended up being we bit off way more than we could chew, and so.
But you certainly had a great vision.
We had a great vision. It was so much fun building something from the ground up.
I'm sorry it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. It was like we probably should have started off a little smaller, and at the same time we were expecting a baby, and so that was definitely a wrench in the system, and it just kind of made us change our mind on our priorities a little bit during that time. But it was definitely
Well, you were around 30. That just fits. That's why I always ask age, because
Sure.
see, there's benchmarks.
Yep.
You got 20, you got 30, you got 40, you got 50, and those to me, because I've been in the workforce my whole life, in construction, as you grow, the age,
your priorities change.
the priorities change. You shift in your passions and what you want to do. And now you're 30, in your early 30s,
Yep.
and you're right where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I believe so.
So how'd you get in with Precision?
Well, with Precision, I was applying to industries that were similar to Miller Electric.
Right.
I thought I had a little bit of experience in that regard. I kind of liked what I was doing. And as I was applying for places, I realized that I had experience that I wasn't sharing or utilizing with these interviews.
Right.
And it was this skill I've developed with marketing over the years. I kind of glossed over in my time in the military. I did photography and videography on the side. It was a hobby.
Good. Well, you had a background.
I did have a
So
background
you
in
had
it.
a little passion for it.
I did, and I didn't realize that was applicable in my job search. And so once I started sharing that with people, I realized that I was a better fit for the marketing side of things than actually the plumbing side or the electrical side.
Right.
I think I was a better fit in that regard. And so Precision was just at the beginning of starting to bring an in-house marketing person. They had grown to a size where they realized they needed in-house marketing as opposed to the contractor they were going through. And it was just a great fit.
And it's funny, I think the marketing around Precision is to find, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is to find great employees.
Yeah.
It's like an extension of what Mary Ann's doing, getting the word out there, because they're not a residential, company.
Right.
They do need to market in the industry, no question about it. But mostly the demand is finding good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me say this too, and before I'm going to take a little break here and, do a sponsor break, top of the hour. Everything we're talking about on this program, everything we're talking about is AI proof.
Yep.
AI proof. What do I mean by that? There's a company, corporate company called Block. They just laid off 4,000 people.
Yep.
The reason? Technology. Let me take this opportunity to thank a few sponsors here. Are you plugged in there, Mr. Cunningham? Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store, like we said, top of the hour, Queen City Home Store used to be Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliance. Now, Queen City Home Store, meeting all your home needs, be it furniture, be it appliances, be it bedding. Great company, great prices, great staff. I'm constantly helping people find the right appliance that they need, ventilation for their kitchen, and Queen City offers great assistance in finding the right product at the right price. Queen City Home Store, been in Charlotte and community since 1952. And it's a great store. I can't say more about it. If you're interested, go to queencityonline.com, and you can shop right online. QueenCityOnline.com. Give them a call at 704-391-6000. That's the corporate number. And like I said, great staff. As a matter of fact, yesterday afternoon when I left a board meeting with Put Tools in Schools, got a call from Queen City Home Store. Quick response. I called them about a couple hours earlier, looked for 2 downdraft systems. They replied right back to me, give me the lowdown on it. One of my board members needs a new downdraft. The motor went kaput. And that part is no longer available, so we have to get a new system. Hey, welcome to America. So that's Queen City Home Store. Go, like I said, online, queencityonline.com or 704-391-6000. Every house, if you've got furniture going in it, before you put the furniture in it, you got to put a floor in it, right? Flooring. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Great store. They bring the showroom to you. They got 4 or 5 vans out there. You give them a call. Go online, yourflooringteam.com. Set you an appointment. And they'll come to you. They bring the flooring samples, products, information, technology. They bring it all to you, right to your door, right to your house. No better place to find the right flooring than in your house. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Serving the Carolinas no matter where you're at. Give them a call. Like I say, it's Southeast Charlotte, but they'll come to Belmont, Gastonia, Monroe, you name it, they're on it. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Don't let the name fool you. It's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Like I said, yourflooringteam.com. Google them, find out more about them. Yourflooringteam.com website. You can go right there and set up an appointment, have them come out. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Now, bugs. We're in a transition period. We're moving into spring here. Got movement, migration with insects, wood-destroying insects, what have you. As a matter of fact, we were in a house last week where my son noticed rot in a deck area, and sure enough, that they had termites. Termites can do more damage than you could ever believe. You need a good exterminator, Kilo Exterminating, been in Charlotte since, well, third generation. I've been saying since 1952, but actually that is 1939. Kilo Exterminating, been in Charlotte area. That's Kilo Exterminating. There you go, Kilo. And time's up. We're going to take a top of the hour break here. We'll come back with hour number 2 coming up. Might talk to Bryce Owusu. Owusu. That's a tough one. Owusu. Bryce Owusu. What did I say? Awoo-woo?
Owusu.
Well, it's an entertaining...
It's like Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, the Cleveland Browns player. See what happens in sports? You get educated, Ray, and you know the names.
Well, pardon me, Mr. Sports. That's Richton Cunningham. We're going to take a top of the hour break here, and we're going to come back with more.